Hi, welcome to Sidewalk Talk. I'm Steve Fortunato, founder of Shovel the Sidewalk. We're a marketing firm in Buffalo, New York. We work with small businesses. We help them create their brand and advertising, and we specialize in storytelling, and we believe in authentic storytelling. And thus, we have this podcast called Sidewalk Talk, where we find thought leaders that at least have a connection to Western New York, and we help them tell their stories, because it's all about people connecting with people, not necessarily the brand or the business. It's the people behind the brand and the business. And today we're with Michele Pusatier, and the name of this business is Stretch Beyond Massage. We're in Orchard Park. We'll get into the details of what it's about, but I want to first introduce Michele to the show. Thanks for being on with us. And if you hear any noise, like an unusual noise, or see a dog walking by, it's because it's Zena.
Zena.
It's Zena, who is Michele's dog, and is perfect for this place. The facility here is really stunning. It's a beautiful building. I think it was built in 1900. I don't want to take you. You can tell us about this facility. Tell us about this building.
So this is an original log cabin home that was built in the year 1900, built as a residence. This therapy room that we're in right now is where I personally do my work, and it was the original living room. We have 2 additional therapy rooms on this side that we use for massage therapy and Reiki. The kitchen was in here, which was removed, and it's now the reception area. And then on the other side, the garage has been converted into a studio. So that's the space that we use for classes.
So yeah, for those listening to us and didn't have any visual listening on the podcast, it is log cabin. I mean, it's like we're back in time. It's really, really good. It has a little bit of an Ellicottville feel.
It does,
to it, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the business and obviously the property. So it's Stretch Beyond Massage. What is it? What do you do here?
So I have a background in psychology, massage therapy, personal training, and most recently fascial stretch. So I lived in Las Vegas and I practiced body work. I've been practicing body work for 10 years. From day one, my approach was a little different because I would incorporate stretch into my massage work. And it was really helping people rehab fast, quickly. Athletes were getting back to their game quickly. It seemed imperative to a lot of the recovery in my massage work. So I went and got certified in fascial stretch, which is basically stretching the connective tissue in your body, which is more than massage, which addresses the muscle.
Okay, massage muscle, fascial stretch. The fascia is connective tissue.
It's connective tissue. Right. So when I work with somebody, I stretch the connective tissue in their body.
That can hurt a little bit, can it, when you break that up?
Not really, no? Not really. People are very surprised that they get on the table. Your fascia runs in long lines. There's 10 lines of fascia in your body, and they run from head to toe or fingertip to fingertip. So when we stretch the fascia in the body, they're long, very long vertical stretches. People, when they see it, they think that it looks like it might be painful, but it's really not. And when you get off the table, it's a different feel. You feel almost like you're walking on clouds. It's very hard to explain. I've had registered nurses get off the table and they said they've never felt that way. It's a very unique feeling.
So the typical, do you call them clients, patients?
Clients.
Typical client, are they coming here with a problem and you're helping them solve it?
Most of them do. And most of them are coming in with problems that they've had for years. Not finding any resolution. They've been to chiropractors, massage therapists, physical therapy, and they do get off the table and they do feel an improvement in their issues. I have about a 99% retention rate. So it does. The fascia years ago was looked at like the appendix. When you look at a cadaver, they knew that we had fascia, they knew that we had an appendix, but they thought that those systems had no function. Over the last 10 years, they've been studying it, and there's an actual fascial society where they're doing a lot of research, and they've come to find that the fascia has a function in our body, and it can create pain if it gets stuck. So it's just really over the last 10 years that they're paying attention to this, and it's finding its way into the medical books, and it's now its own system.
What is the function? What's the function of a fascia? What does it do?
So the fascia encapsulates our muscles. It holds it together and it protects the muscles. So if it gets stuck, if your fascia gets stuck anywhere in your body and you're working on a muscle goes from attachment to attachment. If you're working on a muscle, you can work on that muscle all day long, but not affect any change in the fascia because the fascia runs from head to toe. So you have to move the body in a different fashion in order to affect change in the fascia.
How does the fascia get stuck? So you're looking at your quad. So what happens with the quadricep? Explain that. There's a quadricep muscle in your leg, right on here. And, and that muscle is encapsulated in fascia. So when you say it gets stuck, what does that mean?
Toxins, dehydration, muscular adhesions. You know, it could just get stuck, and it just needs to be pulled and stretched so that it can
So the muscle's moving around, it's exercised, moving like this, and this thing's around it.
It's on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're completely different. They have different functions.
Okay.
So if for some reason, you know, your fascia gets stuck due to dehydration or toxicity, muscular adhesions, anything like that, trauma, if it gets stuck and it needs to be pulled just to get it functioning correctly. Our fascia is like, it's like a full bodysuit. And it encapsulates our muscles from head to toe. It goes over your head, it goes around your toes. And there have been some studies where they've worked on cadavers and they've pulled the big toe. And by pulling the fascia on the big toe, it bobs the brain.
Oh.
Interesting. So I can work down here to affect change up here, but it's the way that you stretch the body from head to toe.
Do you have, you know, we're in a society of this, you know, this, a lot of neck, a lot of back problems.
I'm seeing a lot of that. It's called anterior rotation. There's a lot of this. Because we're always at a desk or on a computer or on our phone, so there's a lot of work being done in through here, which also piggybacks some of the work that we do in the studio to address stretching your mind, because in today's society things move so quickly. We need to learn how to refocus our minds and quiet back down and pay attention to living in the moment.
So let's talk about that, because as you mentioned at the beginning, you studied psychology, Canisus
College.
You studied psychology. You went on to become a licensed massage therapist. Then you became, and now you're also a personal trainer.
Correct.
And now you're a fascial stretch therapist. So I think that you've got a uniqueness in the market, because there's other people out there that are massage therapists. There's other people that have studied psychology. There's a lot of personal trainers. There's also strength coaches. I've never met a fascial stretch therapist, so there's probably fewer of those, but all four together, that has to make you pretty unique, which is really interesting. And you have, in our time here, before we started recording, you talked a lot about mind, and I want to go there now. So, I mean, you have so many different things that people can come to you for. So someone comes in, I don't know, they're just super tight. So maybe it is a simple massage that they need. Maybe it's some physical therapy because they're off balance. But you also identify they need some help with their mind, right? That's what happens. Explain that. Explain that to me more in depth and how that goes down.
Sure. So a lot of times people don't know what they need. You know, they're having issues somewhere in their body. You know, how can you help me? So I'll bring them in and I'll do an assessment. I'll put them on the table. I'll see where they might have fascial restrictions, what kind of help they need, what's going on in their life. Maybe they need to slow down. Maybe they need to meditate. Maybe they need to start to think more positively so they could benefit from manifestation. So we would do a little bit of an intake process and discuss what their needs are, and then move from there. So on this side of the building, we have fascial stretch, integrated massage, and Reiki. Those are all table modalities. And then in the studio, we have 3 different levels of stretch. So we have restorative, we have intermediate stretch, and then we have something called eccentrics, which we have the only gal in the area that's trained to do eccentrics.
Explain all 3 of those.
It's a fantastic class.
You can start with the eccentrics if you want. But
okay, so eccentrics, you can modulate that up or down. It's choreographed to music, and that class is designed to address the fascial lines in the body. So it nicely piggybacks what I do in this room. We often work very closely together. That modality was designed by a woman who combined ballet, tai chi, and classic stretch. A lot of fun, very different. Again, she's the only one in the area certified to do that. She's terrific. She's been doing classes for about 20 years.
And what are the other 2 stretches?
So restorative stretch, very slow. Instead of looking more like yoga where you're holding a pose, you kind of go in the opposite direction and you fall into a pose. So it's very relaxing and it helps open the body. And then intermediate stretch, it falls in between the 2. So it looks a little bit more like yoga. Okay,
so Jane or Joe comes in and their back hurts. So people aren't coming here for a fluffy massage.
Correct.
Right? This isn't the place. So
Correct.
It could be a weekend warrior, right? Could be an athlete.
Right.
Their knee's been bothering them forever.
Right.
And then what you'll do is you'll do an analysis.
Correct.
And then you'll come up with a treatment plan, right? And you have
Correct.
all these different massage techniques. So I think most people, I don't know them. I don't have any kind of scientific study here, but I think people know the importance of stretch if they're any kind of athlete. But there's a lot of people that aren't, maybe they didn't participate in athletics. And tell me how, you must believe in stretch. You named your company after it.
Right.
Tell me why stretching is just so important to people.
Sure. Well, our target demographic here is the over 40 active adult, because as we start to age, we lose elasticity. We have to work a little bit harder to continue to function the way that we want to. So as a result of just aging, you have to stretch that tissue in order to stay active.
So stretching becomes even more important as you age.
And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete. It doesn't matter if you're completely sedentary. The same thing happens to all of us. It's just the function of being a human being.
I would assume then that stretching, besides helping in some pain management situations, will also help in balance.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's something that we address in the classes as well, especially eccentrics. She works on balance. So very important. And
it's important when, maybe you got to start somewhere, but you're 40, 45, but when you're 70, balance is critical.
Yes, it is.
That's when the falls start, right? So
yes.
It's preventative?
It is preventative. And I do have up to 85. My oldest client is 85. And I have people of all ages that come in and get on the table for fascial stretch. And then they work their way through some of the other classes that we have in the studio. In addition to the stretch classes, we offer breathing, meditation, manifestation, nutrition, self-empowerment, and intuitive eating.
Intuitive eating.
Intuitive eating.
Explain that, because for some people, intuition would be to eat a huge pizza. So what's intuitive eating mean?
Well, the instructor would be better able to speak about that. But I think in a nutshell, it's about honoring what it is you really want and having it in small portions instead of going on some kind of a diet and completely eliminating it from your diet altogether, because that throws you off course. So she teaches you how to address your cravings in a healthy way.
And it's all about health, right? And then to me, that also comes back to mind. It's willpower, right?
Absolutely.
So, and mind, a lot of people, again, I don't know this to be fact, but I would think people are starting to understand that your mental state can affect your physical health.
Absolutely, the mind-body connection.
Right, there's a huge connection to that. And obviously you believe in that, that's why it's also stretch beyond massage, correct?
Correct.
Explain manifestation to me, if you can. Explain
Sure.
what that's about.
Sure. Well, Rob Simonelli comes in and he works with our clients on manifestation, and it's built on the law of attraction. I'm sure a lot of people out there are familiar with The Secret, the book The Secret. And it's a way to think positively so that you bring the things into your life that you truly want, instead of letting negative tapes play in the back of your head and subconsciously bringing in negative situations into your life. So it's about positive thinking. Shh, Zena?
Zena.
Come here, baby doll. Good girl. It's about positive thinking and how to manifest those things into your everyday life.
All right. So, well, okay. So what I'm trying to get anyone out there listening or watching that might be interested in checking it out and coming on out here, would they come here and maybe have a fascia stretch, and then would they go into a manifestation? How does it set up? How does it work?
So right now it's set up so that anybody that's interested in learning more, they can call and they can come in for a tour. I can talk to them about what we offer, and they could take an individual class, or they could set up a consultation with me, and I would actually put them on the table, and we would go through, some of the restrictions in their body and see how we can address them on the therapy side as well as the studio side.
Zena is
Zena!
No one's breaking in, all right? We don't have like a burglar or
No,
something
she takes
like
her
that.
job very seriously, though.
It's a pretty good guard dog. So don't ever try to do something funny here, because Zena,
She's on it.
she is on it. I think she's more bark than bite, but it's still a pretty scary bark. It's a big dog. Let's talk about you and your personal journey here and your story. We mentioned that psychology, massage, personal trainer, fascial stretch therapist. Where did this interest start? You went to school for psychology. I'm sure you weren't planning on all of this. Take us through your journey. You're from the North Towns, so you're local.
Right. So I'm a Sweet Home graduate, and from Sweet Home I went to Canisus College. Was looking to go into psychology. After that, I went to work in special education. I worked in special ed for 10 years, moved into administration there, and then shortly thereafter moved out to Las Vegas. At that point, I had a couple of small children, and I thought, well, gee, what can I do so that I could be flexible, and be diligent as a mother and still have a career. As the years had passed, I was finding that I was really drawn to the medical field. Had I not had the small kids, I probably would have went back to medical school. So kind of led me to massage therapy because it was something that I could do around raising the kids, be my own boss, have my own business. Went into that, took to it very naturally. Graduated with special distinction. Right away, started my own business. I had a great business in Las Vegas. Word of mouth. I never advertised, did very well out there. Moved back here about 8 years ago. Because I was working with mostly athletes in Las Vegas, word of mouth brought more and more of them to me. They were getting back to their game. I kind of had that persona, go see Michelle if you need to get back to your game. So when I moved back here, just so that I would have legitimacy, I got my certification in personal training because I was enjoying what I was doing. Did that for a while, and then most recently heard about the fascial stretch therapy certification in Canada. And I went and got certified in that. So it's not like work to me. When I come here, the ambiance is very peaceful. I love working with people. I have so many tools in my toolbox that I can approach each person individually and give them exactly what they need.
So talk about being a business owner. So you were in education for 10 years. So you worked for somebody. Then you went out on your own. did you love being on your own right away?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you couldn't go in another direction now, right?
No.
Okay. Because there's a lot of people that are nervous about that.
Right.
Because other people say, right, it's oh, you own your own business, you make your own rules, but can it be tougher to sleep at night? Walk us through. This is a big commitment you made here. So,
it's a big commitment, but I think early on. I never really needed anybody to, tap a ruler behind me. Very self-motivated. Always had vision. Things that I see, things that I'd like to create. This is my opportunity to do that, and that's how I look at it. Is it harder to sleep at night? Yes, but for me, it's worth it. And I think if you need something to believe in, you have to start with yourself. And I believe that I could make this happen. And it's happening. So Bank on Buffalo was huge in helping me put this together. Bank on Buffalo, thank you. Yeah, they were fantastic.
Placement. That's awesome. So do you have any advice for maybe a young woman or a young man that might be, I don't know, maybe they are in school. Now, I'm not saying anyone is studying psychology and next thing you know you end up in this, but is it too early to start? I mean, you went in 10 years before you did it. Should they wait? Should they work for somebody? Or if they have an idea, do you advise them to go for it whenever they should go for it? What is your advice?
My advice is, again, if you have an idea, and it's something that you really feel strongly about in your heart, then you should absolutely pursue it. But if you need something to believe in, you have to believe in yourself. So prove to yourself, that you're worth your salt, and then move forward. Don't let anything stop you. We need to prove to ourselves, though, that we're worth our salt, because if I really wanted to do this, but I found that I can't put in long hours, or I'm not really effective at working with people, well, then I know it's a bad idea. So that's what I mean by, proving that to yourself. Once you know that you can do it and you have what it takes, don't let anything stop you.
Did you have to prove yourself to the bank?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, listen, not every banks, they're in the risk business too, but they're not just going to take a wild risk.
Right.
They obviously believed in you, or they wouldn't have done this, or they wouldn't have become your partner, right? So that person who's trying to start their company for the first time, a lot of times they got to self-fund. They got to figure it out. They don't. The banks don't come around, and I know in my situation they weren't there.
Right.
They came around for me. They're calling on me a couple years in.
Mm-hmm.
So you must really. I mean, you really must. It's obvious you believe in yourself, and they must have been able to read that.
Yeah, that's tricky. I think it has to do with determination. It took me about 2 years to find a location. 2 years banging on doors and going from bank to bank. Bank on Buffalo was different. They believed in, the small business and taking the risk in the area. It's not easy to get a loan today.
Well, yeah, it's been 10 years, 11 years, right, since 08, 09, so.
Right. And I had, on paper, I had what it took to get a loan, but if you don't fit through the right loophole, most of the banks will say, sorry, we can't help you, and Bank on Buffalo went the extra mile to make it happen.
But again, it came back to what you said, it's persistence.
Persistence.
It's work ethic. You made it happen.
Absolutely.
And they must have recognized it.
Just don't give up, yeah.
And I, it's always a chance, no matter what it is, they're taking a chance. But they're not going to take a huge risk. They obviously believe that this is going to be great for you, for your clients. You call them clients, not patients.
Right.
For your clients and for them in the long run. So congratulations to you. We are at Stretch Beyond Massage.
I just wanted to add
Orchard Park. Go ahead.
One thing here. They did recognize Stretch Beyond Massage with a SBA award.
Who'd you work with there?
I'm drawing a blank.
I'm trying to remember the CEO's name.
I'm drawing a blank. I apologize.
Bank on Buffalo.
Bank on Buffalo.
I know someone else that went through them too and had a really good experience. So I don't know.
Very supportive.
I think okay. So they just became our sponsor today. So our sponsor for the show.
Thank you, Bank on Buffalo.
An unpaid sponsor. Yeah. So Stretch Beyond Massage, Michele Pusatier. Check it out. We're in Orchard Park. Web address. They could. You're on the. We find
StretchBeyondMassage.com.
Yeah, pretty easy. StretchBeyondMassage.com.
StretchBeyondMassage.com.
I appreciate you. Congratulations on the business. It's a beautiful facility.
Thank you so much.
You're gonna crush it here. I'll tell you that. I can tell right away. So.
Steve,
yes.
I'd like to add any young person that's interested in anything that we do here, please call.
Sure.
Come in. It's important to have mentors. It's important to check out your competition, see what's available. See if there's anybody that's in the business that's willing to help you, and I'd be willing to mentor. That's
kind of it's what it's all about, is connecting with people and trying to help people out. Again, yeah, call Michele. She just offered to mentor, and that often leads to, well, who knows, could lead to someone working with you or working with someone else. So thanks for that. Any of our episodes, you can download it on however you download your favorite podcasts. You could also check out any of our past podcasts on our website. You can also watch them. We have them all listed right on our website, which is shovelthesidewalk.com. So thanks again for listening and watching. Thanks again to Michele. Congratulations on Stretch Beyond Massage. And until next time.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.